Hare Krishna. Question from Vishal Gupta Prabhu. In the Nectar of Instruction, the first verse talks about sense control and talks about qualification for becoming a spiritual master. So, but in the Nectar of Instruction is said to be a book for sadhakas and especially for neophyte devotees also. So then, what is the verse about the qualification for a spiritual master meant for over there? Answer. Rupa Goswami is giving us a guidebook for practicing bhakti, and he is in this particular context going if you see the qualification that I talked about in the first verse, there is nothing directly devotional about the qualifications. It's simply in terms of talking about controlling the urges of Vacho Vegam, Manasaha Krodha Vegam. Now, of course, it's clearly a book of bhakti, and the bhakti will become very clear just as we go to the next verses. There is Chadbir Bhakti, Chadbir Bhakti Nishyati. So it's clearly a book about bhakti. But the point is, sometimes bhakti is thought of as sentimental, where if one just loves Krishna, then whatever else one is doing, that doesn't matter. Even if one engages in gratification, even if one does all kinds of things, it doesn't matter. This is Sahajiyik attitude. And Rupa Goswami in the Bhakti Samam Sindhu clearly wants to differentiate the Gaudiya Vaishnavism that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us from these Sahajiyik versions of bhakti, which are often actually pseudo bhakti. So, right in the beginning, he is stressing the need for sense control. So this is the one side of the qualifications of both the Siddha and the Sadhaka. So when the Sadhaka is right in the beginning only, starting to explore whom should I need a guidance of a spiritual master, and generally, although the spiritual master is at a very advanced stage in spiritual life, and the disciple is at a very preliminary stage, but still the disciple also has to disciples have to model themselves on advanced devotees, and one of the models is the spiritual master. So the disciple should know whom I should select as a spiritual master, and like what I need to become as I advance in my spiritual life. So both are important to understand, and both are revealed here in the first verse itself of the Ishopanishad. Of the Updeshamrit. So by this strategic positioning of a verse centered on sense control, Rupa Goswami, although his book is going to go into very esoteric and lofty levels of devotion, which will come especially in the last few verses, talking about Radha Rani and Radha Kunda, but he makes sure that the entry point is, at the entry point itself, Sahajiyaism is weeded out, that there is authentic sense control. So the disciple or the seeker should at one level not be misled by Sahajiyik spiritual masters who may seem to be teaching bhakti but who do not have even preliminary sense control, and so this verse acts as a guide for the seeker to select a right spiritual master, and also acts as a guide for the seeker to know what kind of bhakti needs to be practiced to be able to get authentic entrance into parabhakti, into pure devotional service. So the kind of bhakti that will grant one entry into Radha Kunda, that as a preliminary step requires Vacho Vegam, Manasaha Krodha Vegam, controlling the urges to speak and all those things. So that's the significance of the first verse, position and significant position and relevance in the Updeshamrit. Thank you. Hare Krishna.